We will press record and welcome everybody to tonight's webinar. And look, what I want to do tonight is I'm going to cover a few bits and pieces that I think it's important to keep in the front of our mind. Some of the things that we just, after we've been in for a while, we just take for granted. And for those of you who have just come on, Rick, who's new to our group tonight, Rick has been on the products for 10 days. And Rick, you said you're feeling about 500% better. Is that right?
Minimum.
Yeah.
On you.
Yeah.
And welcome.
And so what happens is after we've been on these products for a while, we just take it for granted that this is how good we feel. We forget how we felt way back when. Right?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mute everybody. And I want to play a little video. And in doing that, we've probably all seen this before, but I think it's good to remember that our environment, no matter what we do, our environment is not being kind to us. All right? Our environment is not helping us. Have a look at this, just a second. All righty, got to find it. Okay.
One of the biggest threats to our health is our own environment. Some toxins are easy to spot. However, most are either invisible or undetectable to the average person.
We have poisoned our water. We have poisoned our air. We are poisoning our foods. And we're doing that to allow industry to advance. But in the process, we're introducing hundreds and hundreds of pollutants into our bodies.
In particular, I worry about pesticides, herbicides on the fruit and vegetables you eat. And on the animal side, very concerned about growth hormone, steroids, antibiotics that are being injected into food supply.
Prescription drugs that are now showing up in the water supplies, about arsenic that's showing up in the water supplies, heavy metals.
We have sterilized our topsoil. The pesticides not only kill the living organisms that come to attack the farmer's produce, but it also hits the topsoil and it kills all the living microorganisms and bacteria that convert an inorganic rock mineral into an organic form for it to be absorbed and uptaken by the plant.
For us to assume that just because we have a plethora of food that we're not undernourished is really wrong, because our food, unfortunately, is undernourished.
Scientific research suggests that the isogenic system supports the body's natural detoxification process with important vitamins, antioxidant botanicals, critical amino acids, and vital nutrients that are lacking in the typical Western diet. Simple single-ingredient cleanse products are no match for this task. You can supercharge your body every day with the ultimate in nutrition with 5 core Isagenix products. Cleanse for Life, Isoline Shakes, Ionic Supreme, Ageless Essentials Daily Pack, and Product B Antioxidants plus telomere support. Cleanse for Life is a unique formula that helps your body rid itself of harmful impurities while nourishing it with vital nutrients, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. A cleansed body means more energy, better mental focus, and more weight loss. Isoline Shakes are delicious, creamy, nutritionally complete meal replacements that always satisfy. These amazing shakes are clinically proven to help you maintain lean body mass while promoting fat burning and weight loss. Ionic Supreme is a natural, nutrient-rich drink that contains over 100 specially sourced ingredients to normalize the body's functions, reduce stress, and increase energy. Everyday people love it. Athletes swear by it. Nourish your body with essential nutrients to promote healthy cells with Isagenix Ageless Essentials. This daily system supports youthful aging while targeting the specific nutritional needs of men and women. The most recent breakthrough discoveries in the science of aging involve telomere support. Isagenix Product B is scientifically formulated to provide full-spectrum antioxidants and healthy telomere support at the cellular level. It contains a proprietary blend of natural bioactives to boost cellular antioxidant defenses against free radicals. When combined with a balanced diet and fitness program, this total health system can have a dramatic impact on your health.
If anyone is looking to take their performance and their athleticism to the next level, they need Isagenix.
It ensures you shed fat, not lean muscle mass. This system and every Isagenix product is safe and contains no ephedra or harmful stimulants.
You want to give your body the best fighting chance it can have in the whole world? Build healthy cells. Healthy cells end up building healthy organs and glands. And your body comes back into balance, and suddenly it can do what it was designed to do, which is to give you the health and the strength you're looking for.
Isagenix products have helped hundreds of thousands of people take control of their health, get in peak shape, and lose weight. And that number continues to grow.
I know I have probably over 150 patients from my patients, and they've all got fantastic results.
I get honest results so much to the point that I don't know how to sit with a patient, every patient. God starts this program.
I developed a confidence of what Isagenix capability were, where then I started to represent this to my patients as a first line.
Stop wondering where your energy went or why you can't seem to lose that extra weight and start a plan of action. Try Isagenix products risk-free with our 100% money-back guarantee. What do you have to lose besides fatigue, stress, or perhaps some weight? If you're ready to transform your health, contact the person who introduced you to Isagenix and get started today.
All righty. Now, I'm going to unmute everybody. All right, we're all back on live, so no swearing, please. This is a family show. All right, now, what happens is we take these products, and it's good to have Rick on tonight because Rick's a newbie and he's just found the wow factor of what we're all doing as far as our health is concerned. And you work it out, and there is so much crap out there that we consume. It's no wonder we get sick. No wonder we get tired, and the aches and the pains and the moans and the groans. You know, it wasn't that many years ago where people would be out in the fields picking, spuds or cutting wood or doing whatever, splitting wood for the fire and all that sort of stuff in their 80s and 90s years of age, because the food they had was clean and the ground it was grown in had some value left in it. And now we come along and we've got this fantastic scientific age and we've never been sicker. It's just ridiculous, right? So here we have this amazing system, absolutely amazing. And whether we share the idea with other people or not, that's up to you. Right? That's your deal, right? Not my deal. I know what I want to do. I want as many of my friends and my family to be as healthy as I can possibly get them for as long as I can possibly get. Right? So I just give your dog the mute button, Darren. Hi, mate. How you doing? So anyway, in doing that, what happens is this, that when we get healthy, we forget what it was like not to be healthy. So Rick, what I want you to do is literally remember, think about how you're feeling versus how you were feeling, so as that you can remember it to tell other people, because in 2 or 3 months, you won't even remember that you felt that bad before.
I hope not.
Right. So has anybody else got any story they want to put up about some of the more recent results that you might have personally got or somebody close to you has got out of some of the products?
What the fuck are you doing?
Yes. No.
This bloke behind me won't keep still. He's got that much energy.
yeah.
Hey, Flick.
How you going?
Yeah.
Still haven't had a smoke.
Hasn't had a smoke for how long, Paul?
4 months.
4 months since he's been on the products.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you just
33 years.
think about it.
Yeah.
That's a huge health benefit, but also think about the money that's not going down the drain
That's it.
that can now be put into nutrition and good health. You know, so it's a win-win every which way you go.
Yeah.
Right?
And the incredible part about it, he gave up smoking the first week and using the system, never had any withdrawal symptoms.
No.
Now, I don't know anyone who's ever smoked before or has given up and had no withdrawal symptoms.
This is it. I didn't crave anything. All I craved was fruit salads and my chocolate shakes. No cigarettes. That's all I wanted. Yeah, I wanted a shake more than a smoke. Monday after the first day, I woke up and yeah, the first thing I wanted was a chocolate shake, not a cigarette. And that's after 33 years of smoking.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Darren here's my witness. I wasn't aggro. I was over here climbing up the walls. You know, that's when I started the challenge.
Yeah.
You know, so
He hasn't kept still since.
it's time now that I'm buzzing now. So.
Yeah, good. All right, now I'm going to go on to the next bit. I'm going to mute everybody again. All right, everybody's muted again. So what we're now going to do is I want to talk a little bit about the value of health. The value of health, right? We don't understand the value of health, but I want you to, if you've got a piece of paper handy, great. If you don't, just work it out mentally. I want you to think about roughly how much money you've earned in the last 5 years, right? Because you've had the good health to go to work. Then I want you to think about if you got too crook to go to work, how much money you'd lose in the next 5 years, plus the cost, what it might cost in medical terms. Some you might have full health cover, you may not. You know, but if you were too sick to go to work, or you were, if Mark Drake fell off his racing bike and busted himself up, heaven forbid, no mozzer on you, Mark. But if that happened, you know, what the costs of repairing the bones and everything else, what is the cost of good health versus the cost of bad health? And then I want to ask you another question. How many friends do you know that would like to feel as good as you feel today? Right? How many of them would like to feel that good? And if something went wrong with your health and you couldn't work, would $1,000 to $2,000 a week ease the suffering? Would it ease the suffering? You know, I had somebody once say, "Oh, look, I'm not interested in making money. I've got plenty of money, da-da-da-da-da." And he had some investments and all this sort of stuff. And I didn't push him. I just let him go his own way. 3 years later, I bumped into him and how you going? Yeah, yeah. And he was really bummed. He was down. And I said, what's going on? And his accountant and a lawyer had cleaned him out. He trusted the accountant and the lawyer, and they had cleaned him out. And he was working part-time in a dairy milking cows. And I just said to him, I said, well, you know, would you be interested in having a look at what I'm doing? He said, oh, no. He said, my head's just not in the right place. You know, my philosophy is this: dig your wells before you get thirsty. Meaning put processes in place to have the money coming in before you actually need the money. And in our case, it's just a matter of sharing the concept with a few of our mates. Some are going to say yes, some are going to say no. It really doesn't matter, because you're only looking for people who are looking for either better health, more wealth, or a longer life, or all three. They're the only options they got, or they can say no. So they got 4 choices: better health, more wealth, longer life, or say no. That's it, right? That's all we got. It doesn't get any flashier or fancier than that. So, so let me see. I'm just going to share the screen again for a minute. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. All right. Here we've got our little sheet that we read when we show somebody the plan. Right? Hang on, somebody sent me a chat message. Now I've got to try and read this. Bear with me. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. That's right, Gillian. Absolutely. Yeah. Oops. Click, back again. All righty. Now, this top part here, right? This is just a few little pictures. But if that's your household, everybody in that house is eating food every day. Normally what happens is you go over here to the shops, you pay full price for your food, and then you take your food home. And that just repeats and repeats and repeats. And you may have, I don't know, you might have been to a good movie and told one of your mates to, oh, look, I went and saw a movie the other day. Oh, man, it was really good, had a great story, blah, blah. If they go to the movie and watch the movie, I'll guarantee you the movie house doesn't give you back some dollars for your mates coming to the movies. Right? None of that stuff. Right? What about if we thought about living a different way, spending our money differently? Because remember, the food over here is bankrupt. There's no nutrition in it. It looks good. But when was the last time you bought a tomato out of the supermarket that actually tasted like a tomato? Like a tomato used to taste when we were kids, right? Never. They taste like cardboard. When was the last time you bought a carrot out of the supermarket that really made your mouth water when you bit into it? No, because there's nothing in it. It looks like a carrot, right? It cooks like a carrot, but there's no nutrition in it. And we're paying top dollar for it, right? What about all we're ever going to do is go over here to the Isagenix warehouse, buy our food, really dense, clean, nutritional food that's got all the amino acids, all the fatty acids, all the minerals, the carbohydrates, the proteins, got the lot, the absolute lot, right? And we buy that at wholesale. They deliver it to your house. So not only do you save money, but you live much better. You live healthier. You become alive. Right? And then, just then, if we just jump right around the other page, scoot down here, then if you share that idea with your friends and say, hey, look, instead of me recommending a movie to you, I want to recommend this stuff to you, right? Instead of recommending a restaurant, I want to recommend this stuff to you. So you share the idea with A and B, and we help them share it with their A1, A2, B1, B2. Because A, they want to feel as good as you feel. They want to live as long as they possibly can, as healthy as they can. and a few extra dollars probably wouldn't do them any damage, right? Probably wouldn't do them any damage at all. So in this case here, if you, hang on guys, bear with me for one moment. I'm going to put this on pause. I've just got to answer this call. Bear with me for a second, please. Yep. Oh, I don't know. I'm on a webinar. Mum. Okay. Bye. Sorry, guys. I do apologise for that, but that was my my daughter looking for her daughter. Alrighty. So by doing this, sharing this idea, if you introduced A and B and they introduced their people in 60 days from you registering, Isagenix are going to pay you $500. When was the last time you recommended to somebody to go to some movies or to buy their fuel at somewhere else or bought their tyres at a place that you recommended or anything like that? And that company, that business, that whatever, sent you $500. Doesn't happen. But here it does, right? And so we just watched that video of Are You Toxic? And everybody's paying full price for crap food. Their life's going down the gurgler. They're trying to wring their body as hard as they can to get every bit of energy out of their body with zero fuel in the tank. We put them on Isagenix. They refuel the tank. The body comes back to life. And away we go. We're feeling great. Well, I think the whole damn population deserves at least the opportunity to have a look at this, to at least understand it, then make a decision, right? Because I can tell you, when I first got approached with this, I said, no, I'm not interested. Go away, right? Thank goodness Trevor didn't go away, right? See, this is all we ever do. All we ever do is we share. I'll put it down here. I've got it down here on this other page. It's real simple. We swap brands. We start using products that are available from your own business. We order in advance. We share the concept with some friends, and we teach those who join with you to do the same. You see, it's going to work if you want it to work. Now, the government would have us work until we're damn 70 years of age. But I look at it like this. I just this one here, if you found 6 people, and you might not find them all next week or next month, it might take you a year to find them. I don't know. I don't know what your friends are like. If you found 6 and we taught those 6 to find 6, and we taught them to find 6 more, who taught them to find 6 more. And if everybody was just having 2 lots of shakes and 2 lots of bars a month, so that's about $50 a week spend on Isagenix that you're not spending at the grocery store, that would bring you in $10,000 a month. Now, my maths isn't real sharp. I'm not bad, but it's not real sharp. But I think that's just a little better than the pension. You know, I think 10 grand a month just tips the pension. All right, 10 grand a month, change everybody's lifestyle. And how did you do it? Well, I just ate this other food and I told a few mates about it. It's all how you think about it. It's no big deal. It's simple. Learn, do, teach, repeat. So I'm going to stop sharing that one there. And I'm going to unmute everybody. So guys, who's got some questions?
No, it's a no-brainer to me. It's just the stuff brings you alive. And like that doctor said, it brings you into balance. This is why we're so well with all our nutrition side of it.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
the money side of it's a no-brainer, mate. I mean, it just,
Yeah.
you know, 300 points one side and 600, and they spit you out $60 because you've helped someone get well.
Yeah. And look, this is,
And then I'm more focused on the business builders, but I let people know that I'm focused on business, but I also look at people's needs as well. You know, some people might want more energy or lose weight, as we know, or feel a bit better, like Rick.
yep.
And look, got everything.
That's
It gets hard. You're saying it gets hard trying to convince people that they seem to think it's an extra cost.
Yeah, that's right. In some cases they do, Paul.
You show them that plan sheet.
Yeah.
I mean,
You've got to start using that.
it's just sort
But
of,
you know, we can show them how when they're using 2 shakes and 2 bars. I mean, Trevor's got a group up in Rockhampton that are unemployed Aboriginals eating 2 shakes and 2 bars every fortnight. And they're buying it fortnightly. So 1 shake, 1 bar, 1 shake, 1 bar each fortnight. And they're making money. They're getting healthier and they're making money. And so therefore they're in a cost-effective situation whereby that because they're getting good nutrition, they're not looking to eat all the snack foods and crap and junk to go with it. People don't tend to count what they spend on chips and chocolates and chocolate milk and iced coffee and all the rest of the crap. When you're eating isogenics, you don't use any of that gear. You just don't bother with it. You don't need it.
4 iced coffees, $20 a day.
Yeah.
4 iced coffees, you know. And that's what I used to drink every day working at Mitre 10 and that. You drink 4 iced coffees. That's $20.
Yeah, and this is the thing, and I mean, it's not an additional cost; it's a transfer of spend. So in doing that, you know, it's all pretty good. Anybody else got anything? Any questions?
Yeah, Rick. There's Rick.
I just missed my yapper pie and bloody ginger beer for lunch, mate. That's all.
Yeah, but hey, Rick.
You going good?
I've got a little saying, mate. Nothing tastes as good as healthy feels.
That's what he told me the other day.
Right? Nothing tastes as good as healthy feels.
Yeah.
Right? And don't get me wrong, I love ginger beer. Right?
Have you told me
When have you put ginger in it?
I like Corona beer.
No. Stone's green ginger beer, right? Stone's.
Oh, yeah, Stones, yeah.
So no, that's all good. But look, the beautiful part about isogenics is you can go out and have a couple of beers, you can go and have a pie or a dim sim or whatever your poison of choice is, and then by the next cleanse day you've wiped that out and away you go again. It's no drama.
You're not doing it all the time.
No, that's right. You're not doing it all the time. All right, let's mute everybody again. Hang on. Mute everybody. And let me go in here and get out this bit here. All righty. Now, I've just got to grow that up a bit. All right. We'll go up one more time. How's that? That's better. All righty, guys. Have a little look at this. Has anybody, you know, either been to school or had kids go through school? Of course we have, right? Okay. From a business perspective, we get in and we start introducing people down the 2 sides. Then what happens is when there's 300 BV on one side and 600 BV on the other side, collides and Isogenic spits $60 into your ISA wallet. And so for every multiple of that, that's called a cycle. That's one cycle. 300 one side, 600 the other side. So to get one cycle a week each week, you're going to need quite a few people because they're not all going to buy a heap of stuff every week because it lasts so long. So you're going to need a few people, right? So you're going to sponsor, say, 3 or 4 people who are going to sponsor 3 or 4, whatever. Everybody's going to buy a different amount of product. But let's look at this. 1 cycle a week, $60. That's $3,000 a year. But that's the equivalent of having $100,000 in the bank at a rate of 3% interest. For eating food with no capital at risk. Right? No capital at risk. Now, if we went to school, we probably went to, some of you might have gone to kindergarten. We never had kindergarten where I grew up. So our first day at school was the first day of grade 1. And we were expected to be in grade 1 for about a year, grade 2 for about a year, and so on. So each year we were expected to go up a grade. Well, I've got to tell you, I buggered up their averages. I took an extra year at grade 3. And the only reason I took an extra year at grade 3 was that the teacher and I had a misunderstanding. And when he slapped me up the side of the head and I busted my eye open on the desk and I had blood all over me, the next day my mum comes to school and we had the big 3-foot blackboard rulers, you know, the big wide ones. And so my mum decided that she was going to educate the teacher on what a busted eye would look like. And so my mum took to the teacher with a blackboard ruler on its edge. And by the time she'd finished with him, I guarantee you he would never hit another child ever for the rest of his life. Now, I'm not sure whether he would have even been capable of. He had a broken arm, broken nose, broken jaw. He was missing teeth. He wasn't doing too good that day. And so I didn't do too good in grade 3 that year, okay? So, but the next year when the new teacher came, I did real good. It was okay, right? So, but we would expect kids to last 1 year in a grade and then go up a grade. Why? Because they've learnt what they need to learn. They've done what's required and they've moved on. Well, you got to work out how long do you want to be at 1 cycle a week? And when do you want to get to 1 cycle a week? Right? Some of you are doing 1 cycle, some are doing more. Some aren't doing any cycles in a week. That's okay. It's your decision. Right? But that's worth 100. By not being at 1 cycle a week, what's happening is that's the equivalent of not having $100,000 in the bank. Now, once you've got to 1 cycle, all you've got to do is teach 2 of the people in your group how to get to 5 cycles. So first they come to 1 cycle, you get 5 of them to 1 cycle, and then you teach them, right? And so by the time you've got 10 cycles coming through each week, that's $600 a week. Now, you've got to understand, that's in on top of what you're already earning. So now actually you're getting your food bill paid for free, plus money in the bank. $600 a week, $600 a week, $2,400 a month. You can't eat that much Isagenix. Some of the money's got to go to the bank, right? But that's the equivalent of $1 million invested. So that's the equivalent of getting the return on $1 million without any capital at risk. And a lot of people are running around saying, oh, look, I've got, $2 million in real estate. Well, yeah, you do. The bank's got most of it. And by the time all your running costs come out and everything else, you're not getting a whole lot out of it. You've got the capital growth if you can hang on to it. But here, you've got no capital at risk and the equivalent of $1 million in the bank. $600 a week, 10 cycles. You see, pure economics says that if there is a system in place that's simple and easy to follow without capital risk, what's required is learning and effort, then it's possible to run through here, probably down to 20 cycles, within probably a year or 18-month period. Now, Jackson Parr, a young bloke up in Queensland, from the time he got in to, I think it was 14 months later, he was making $700,000 a year in 14 months. Now, do you know how Jackson did that? He did not have any preconceived negative concepts about any of this industry at all. He just knew it was built on numbers, and he knew that the geometric progression of numbers works. Right? He knew the geometric progression of numbers, compounding interest, if you like, but it was working in his favour, not the bank's favour. Right? So, 2-star, 20 cycles, it's the equivalent of having $2 million in the bank. It's an asset you're building. And how does it start? Well, tonight we've got a great example. We've got Rick here, Darren's mate. Darren he called in, saw Darren, caught up with him, and Darren was telling him how good the products are. Rick goes, oh yeah, well I better have some of that. So Rick comes on board, gets onto the product, feels like Superman now. I don't know what his mates are thinking at work, but they're probably thinking, well, what the hell are you on, mate? But, and then, so Rick's doing okay. Rick's up in Brisbane, Darren's down in Blanchetown, and Rick's going to go, well, yeah, I'm feeling real good. Somewhere he's going to muck up. Rick, you're going to muck it up, mate. What's going to happen is somebody's going to say, what the hell are you doing? How are you losing this weight? How come you feel so good? And then you're going to bugger it up. Then you're going to tell them, oh, well, I got into isogenics. And they're going to say, well, hell, I want to feel like you feel. And you're going to have to sign them up. That's just, and you're going to muck it up, right? And away it'll go, because you don't know who they know. You see, this is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life, right? It's just beautiful, because all we do is find other like-minded people, get them eating the food, and you make money just by reference, right? Just by reference. And that's all we ever do. That's all we ever do is we refer other people. We find out whether they're looking for money, whether they're looking for better health, whether they're looking for weight loss or looking to live longer. It doesn't matter. We've got a basket full of goodies, and they get to dip their hand in and take out as little or as much of it as they want. And if people are happy on the products and don't want to build a business, don't want to have anything to do with the extra money, well, that's fine. Fantastic. If people want to earn the money, great. Happy to teach you how to do that too. It doesn't matter, because everybody gets out of it what it is they want. You can't help somebody get out of it what you want for them. They've got to want it for themselves, right? But I will tell you this, whatever it is that you want, and you might sit there and go, well, yeah, look, I'm really happy with the product, and look, the money would be great, but oh, I don't know whether I could do that or not. It is the nature of the thought that alters everything. It is the nature of the thought that alters everything. I don't expect anybody to know how to make money out of isogenics until someone teaches them. The only way you're going to learn is find the teacher that can teach. And it's real simple. New people don't know what the next step is until we tell them what the next step is, right? They just don't know. And so it's our job to explain now, okay, Rick, I'm going to pick on you because you're the new guy on tonight, so the others are sick of me picking on them, so I'm going to pick on you. But what I would do if Rick said to me, well, look, Tim, I'm really happy with the product, but geez, mate, I don't know, like that money sounds good, but I don't know whether I could do that. What I would then say to Rick is, look, Rick, it's pretty simple. All we do is we write down a list. Just write down a list of names. Put 50, 60 names on there. Oh, yeah, but I don't know whether my mates would be interested. And that's right. We don't know. And the only way we're going to find out is ask. And the way I ask people is pretty simple. It works for me. You might have your own flair or personality or whatever you want to put on it. But all I say to people is, and I talk to people about the money more than the product. But I would say if I was Rick approaching one of his mates, I'd say something along the lines of, hey, Fred, this is just a shot in the dark, but outside of what we're doing here at work, would an extra $500 or $600 a week be any good to you? Well, yeah, what doing? Well, firstly, you and your wife or you and your partner eat food, don't you? Yep. Well, I've found a way whereby buying our food from a different supplier, we can get paid some pretty good referral money. You're kidding. How does that work? Well, look, I'll catch up with you one night after work and we'll sit down and I'll run it past you. And we just go through it, right? Draw it out. Simple. But I would show Rick how to use the plan sheet. I would show Rick how to use the videos and all that sort of stuff, so as that Rick knows what to do and when to press play on the videos and all that sort of stuff. And so when we show Rick's mate, he's got a choice. You can see he's looking at the products, he's looking at the money, and he can work out whether he wants to be healthy, live longer, have more energy, or make more money, or the whole lot. He can pick out of the basket what he wants. And then we just repeat that process over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So it's not a complicated thing to build this. It's just a matter of how we think. And can you imagine, just imagine this. Now, we've got this function coming up in Brisbane in a couple of weeks. Right? Now, there's a few of us going from down here. And we're going to get up there and we're going to see people walking across stage that are making here, like Australians, making way, way over $1 million a year. And we're going to be looking at people who have just got in. We're going to be looking at people who have been in for a while and maybe making 100 or 2 or 3 or 400,000 a year. We're going to be listening to doctors' talks, science talks, all this sort of stuff. So you get this picture of this overall thing that says that for those who get to understand what this is, there is longevity, good health, and an enormous amount of wealth. When you've got plenty of dollars, it takes care of the stress. And imagine this. What about this little group we've got here tonight? What about if we got out of our own head, stopped listening to that little voice back there going, oh yeah, but it's all right for them. They can bloody do it, but you can't. All right? What about if we stop that? And on Team FSI, we've got the bug-free mind process there, so we can walk people through that. We clear out the garbage. And what about if we went and did this? What about if you went and built the numbers? What about if you found the runners? What if 12 months, 2 years from now, you never had to work again, you're feeling incredibly healthy, no boss, no alarm clocks, no traffic in the mornings, none of that rubbish. And you just got to live your ideal day every day. What would that ideal day every day look like? What would it look like? What would it feel like? Knowing that when you woke up in the morning, there was another 50 cycles in your bank account. Another $3,000 just went into your bank account. Get up the next morning, another $3,000 just went into your bank account. Get up the next morning, another $3,000 just went into your bank account. Right? Because that's what happens. That's what happens. But it will only happen if we go out and do the numbers. Now, as most of you know, our little granddaughter Cyan has been in karate now for about 12 months or so. And last night was her second little grading, so she's now got her yellow belt. And she's as proud as punch as that. I mean, that kid is just peaking. I mean, you talk about being ecstatic. And they had the Japanese master out, and 14 Japanese students had put on a display that like fair dinkum. It was incredible to watch last night. But anyway, she did her grading, and tonight she's gone to karate training again. And on the way to training, I said, Cyan, do you realise what you learnt by getting your yellow belt? And she said, well, not, what do you mean, Pop? And I said, sweetheart, how did you get your yellow belt? Oh, well, she said, I went to training. I said, yes. And I said, you learnt the same steps, the same movements over and over and over and over every week. It's the same kata all the time. And then as you go from that kata, you've now started to learn the second katas that you're doing, but it's the same repetition process. You've got to put your feet this way, your hands got to go there, you've got to, the whole thing is precise. You learn the same thing every week, don't you? She said, yes. And I said, when we watched you last night go through those steps, you never missed a beat. You'd practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced, and it just came natural to you, and it just worked. And the others around you weren't as good as you that were going for that same belt. Well, no, Pop, they weren't. I said, because you've learned that repetition teaches you correctly. Yes, Pop. I said, if you take that principle that you're now learning in karate, that it is those same steps every day, those same training systems every day. And once you've mastered them, you can then master the next ones and the next ones. But you must keep mastering the fundamentals every day. If you will take that into your life, sweetie, I said, there is nothing that you cannot accomplish in any field you choose to go into, whether it's mathematics, whether it's arts, whether it's singing, whether it's your karate, it doesn't matter what it is. And people, I will tell you this, if you will learn the art of asking the questions, showing the plan, following up, and teaching the others how to do the same day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, you must, by absolute numbers of repetition, you must make a fortune in building an Isagenix business. So if a 10-year-old child can learn the fundamentals of karate to get her yellow belt, to learn a couple of katas, and there's quite a few steps in the two different katas, and the different movements and the precise way they've got to be done, and their feet have got to be in a particular way, and when they bring their wrist around, it's got to snap at a particular point, and all this sort of stuff. If a 10-year-old child can do that for a yellow belt, surely you and I can learn a few steps to make a fortune. How long do you want to be in grade 1? When do you want to move to grade 2? What year do you think you're going to hit high school? Guys, this is the best business. I've been around business for a long time. I've had pubs and restaurants. We've done all sorts of stuff. But I've got to tell you, there is nothing as good as networking, but I've got to tell you, there is nothing as frustrating as networking. Period. End of story. But there is nothing as good as it. But there is nothing as frustrating as it either. The way to beat the frustration is go and get active. Go and talk to a couple of your mates. Muck it up. Learn how to get it right by doing the wrong steps. You'll get it. I'm happy to teach you. I'm happy to work with you. And look, to be honest, they're punching millionaires out of this business every week. Another person goes millionaire, another person goes millionaire, another person. That means they've made $1 million since they got into Isagenix. They're up to, I think, 250 something at the moment. And my question to you is, how many people in your jobs doing what you're doing are making $1 million? When do they come into work and say, oh, Fred Nurk, you know, the guy who driving the Kenworth down there, Adrian, he just made $1 million. He's been, yeah, that's, doesn't happen, right? He might have turned over $1 million, but the truck gobbled up 800,000 of it. All right. So what I'm trying to get across to you guys is this. It is the basic repetition steps to build the business. Everybody needs the food we've got. Everybody. There is not a soul out there that does not need the nutrition. Secondly, the money is amazing. And all you've got to do to get the money is get out of your own head. You're not that important. What will people think of me? They don't. They're not sitting at home tonight thinking of you. They're sitting at home dumbfounded in front of the TV. They're watching some donkey in a jungle somewhere. They're watching Love at First Sight or Married at First Sight or something I saw the other night. The good God, right? They're watching some other murder show. Oh, some other poor bugger got murdered. Gee, I'm glad it wasn't me. Right? They're not thinking of you. They don't care about you. You are not in their number one priority thought process. Yeah, but if I ask them to have a look at this, what will they think of me? Well, if they get in and feel as good as Rick does, they'll probably think, geez, Darren, you're a good bloke. Right? I don't know. Ask them. You know, like have some fun, loosen up, get out of your own head. Stop playing games in there. It's dark in there. There's no fun in there. The fun's out here. All right? All right, guys. Well, I'm going to stop recording.